Selfish people and their crooked acts. Subchapter: Friendship versus Kingdom's Future. When a definite choice has to be made, human often is selfish. That night, while everyone was sleeping, Charumati was sitting in her room in front of her dressing table. Her personal maids were taking off all her jewelry and making fun of her. While all the maids were laughing, King Prayag entered through the door of Charumati's private room. The maid standing at the door held a bowl and stood at a distance from the king. King took off his finger rings, chains, and other jewelry and dropped them in the bowl. He took off his royal crown and gave it to the other maid, who was standing at a distance from the door. Charumati looked at the king's reflection in the mirror as he stood behind her. She stood up, unbraiding her hair. She walked towards the water pool with the fountain and sat down at the steps, leaving her hair loose. Prayag: this tells me that the wish could be a little bigger than me. Charumati put her legs in the water, sat quietly at the steps of the pool. Prayag walked to the pool, laid down on the floor on the opposite side of the pool. Prayag: Charumati, you look like a full moon with no spots. When are you giving me my baby? I'm waiting to see. You know, Charu, Avni and I spent sleepless nights for 2.5 decades with fear in nerves and hopelessness in hearts. Now you made our lives hopeful. Not just Avni and me, but the whole Vasumati is happy. If a legal heir to Vasumati is never born, the Bruhu king, with the mutual support of his neighbor kingdoms, would come and attack us. Vasumati would have seen devastation. Our prayers are answered through you. Whatever is the gift you would be, our prayers are answered through you. Whatever I may gift you would be less before you. Charumati, my lady, tell me what shall make you happy. Charumati sat calm and silently looked into the water pond, decorated with lilies in the center of her room as an art form. Prayag stood up, walked towards her, and sat by her side. Prayag asked, do not hesitate to ask me. The wish could be big or small. I shall fulfill. Without a word, Charumati turned towards Prayag and showed her palm to him, asking him for a promise. Prayag: do not you believe in my words, Charu? Prayag placed his palm on hers and promised her. Charumati: what if you break the promise? Prayag: haven't you heard of my history, Charu? I have sacrificed many things for the sake of the promises I made. Charu: do not doubt. Charumati: announce the war against the Sri Chakra dynasty. Prayag: what? Charumati says, you made the promise. Prayag's head shook for a moment. He stood up in silence. He didn't understand what was wrong with her. Prayag: is it you who is asking me for such a cruel act? Do you know that King Chakradhar and I are best friends, and the well-being of Sri Chakra dynasty is as important as Vasumati? Charumati says, isn't your word important to you? Prayag replies, tell me, is this the reason you married me? I trusted you. Avni trusted you. Vasumati has trusted you. Charu, I love you immensely. Do not hurt me with these unkind words. Tell that you're just making fun. If I can't stand up to my word, I shall live no more. Now, I choose not to live. Charumati walked into the center of the pool. She took off the knife that she usually carried with her, placing beneath her sari draping. She caught her hair edges and cut it by 10 inches. In no time, her whole body turned grey. Her hands, face, lips, nose turned dry and pale. She looked lifeless. Charumati: so do I. If the promise fails, I shall die with the baby in my womb. I will cut my hair completely or stab my stomach and die here in this water pool. You may later feel good watching us dead and our blood mixed in this water. That is also part of the nature. Prayag dropped his sword down and he fell on the floor crying. Charumati raised her hand up with her knife to kill herself. Prayag cried on his knees. Prayag requests, please do not kill the innocent in your stomach. Please, Charumati. The baby in your stomach is not just our child, but the baby is the future of Vasumati. Any kingdom will announce a war on a kingdom that has no legal heirs. Please drop your knife down. Charumati says firmly, Then announce the war and stand on your words. Prayag replies, I will announce the war. I will announce the war against my best friend, not because I promised you, but to protect the legal heir of this kingdom and to protect Vasumati. Vasumati's future is more important to me than anybody.